Hello everybody, this is Bronislava for HandMadeRukodelky. One of my wonderful viewers has problem with tension on her Purl side. So in today's video, we are going to be addressing that issue, how I am dealing with the tension on the Purl side when I'm purling stitches. Also, I am going to be talking about the really edges, the sides, how I am dealing with that, with the tension over here on these two sides, okay? And basically that's what we're gonna be doing in this video. And if you like it, don't forget to give it 2 thumbs up. Not 1, 2. In one of my videos, I showed you how I deal with tension of my yarn when I'm doing a knit stitch. And somebody requested how I do a tension when I do a purl stitch. And so as I was knitting this little piece, I noticed that I basically don't change anything else. Again, I make sure that I have my yarn pulled out of the ball, just in case it's tight in the ball. Okay, I watch my distance from my finger. I keep my yarn wrap exactly the same way like when I'm doing knit stitch. Okay, and the only thing is that there is a problem when I'm knitting knit and purl stitches is right here on this side, because these stitches right here are usually a little longer, okay, than the stitches right here. You can see the difference, right? You see they're a little shorter right here than these stitches. These are a little longer, looser, okay? So let's go and talk about the tension when I'm doing purling, and then also how I deal with the tension over here on this side versus this side. So let's go and address this side as I'm starting. So when I start knitting, right, I just start knitting. I just knit the same way, and you can go and actually watch the video. Look for the link that it's going to be up here in the corner, in the right upper right corner, or below the video in the description. Okay, so I just go and knit, and as I knit, I pull my yarn and slightly extend my finger, and I keep the tension over here the same way. This is very loose over here, and I don't change the wrapping of my around my finger. Oh, by the way, I injured myself over here at work, my new work. so forgive my finger in here. It's not best looking at the moment. Anyway, so as I am knitting, I gently pull, right? I pull and I have my tension same way. Distance between the finger, unwrapped the yarn, okay? And I just keep going. Same thing, repetitive, repeat the same thing. My hands are relaxed, my shoulders are relaxed, my wrists are relaxed. Okay, now I got here to the end. Let me go and undo last 3-4 stitches, let's say. So when I get to these last 3 or 4 stitches, I start actually tightening. I start tightening these last 3 stitches because these stitches come much looser, okay? And it's the way, we're working with the yarn. So in here we just grab the yarn, but tighten this 4 stitches, like pull. You see how I'm pulling in here? Okay, a little tighter. You can see the tightness you know, that I'm not letting it go and slide. I kind of, my brain is already trained that it just goes and tightens up on its own. You know, I have no idea how I do it anymore, but I just pull on it, you know, pull that finger to tighten this thing. And maybe I actually probably even squeeze these fingers gently, so this doesn't slide between my fingers. Okay, so that's what I probably do. And when I go and start purling, we turn around, we have to purl, and this is with the continental style, right? So I go and bring my yarn here in front, okay, and again I go and wrap my yarn around, and I push my needle back, and I tighten, okay. Again, I do the same thing and tighten. One more time and tighten, okay. And now I will just go and slip back into my regular, like when I'm knitting, non-tightening mode. It just slides off my finger exactly like when I'm knitting, okay? Just like when I'm knitting. And I will go slow. You can see that my yarn is sliding. Look how this yarn is sliding right there. Go slow again, and my finger just up a little bit. Try to keep that distance. Okay. And these ones I just do a regular way, or kind of almost slightly loosely, the on the purl side. So this side kind of evens out with this side, although it's still a little looser than this side is looser than this side, okay? And then when I turn around, I repeat my knit side again with loose, a little looser first stitches, and then regular, okay? Then regular. And let me go and hurry up to show you one more time these last stitches, and I start tightening up. One stitch, second stitch, third stitch, and fourth stitch. I'm tightening it up. You can probably see it. When I turn around, I do the same thing. I tighten up my several first 3 or 4 stitches. Tighten it up, okay? It still comes somewhat looser. You see, I'm really tightening up these 4 stitches, and then I go back to regular knitting. So my stitches are kind of same. Okay, and we will go and I'll show you that all stitches are basically even, and these stitches are just loosely, because usually when you turn around by just grabbing and not wrapping the yarn around, like on this end, just grab it. That's why it gets probably a little tighter. So that's why I go here a little looser. When I'm trying to demonstrate knitting, you know, of some project or whatever, in English style, I do have actually a problem knitting that way, because I didn't grow up knitting in English style, okay? I learned it only when I moved over here to United States. So what I do, I have to wrap the yarn few more times, or, you know, also in between the fingers, because I knit looser, on a looser side, loosely. So just to make sure that my stitches come as close to same tension as my continental style. I do have to really watch how I knit in English style. So I constantly check my, tension when I am knitting English style. And you might have to do that as well. And, there are all different kinds of versions how you knit English style. Sometimes I hold yarn this way, just between two fingers, like this. Okay, and which sometimes it's easier on me, and sometimes it's not. It depends, right? So you just have to develop, pulling of that yarn or wrapping it exactly the same way, so you can try to keep the tension as close, as same with each stitch as possible. And again, here I'm getting to the end of my knit side, so I will pull on my yarn much tighter. Okay, I will definitely make it as tight as possible over here, especially when I'm knitting with my English style, because like I said, I am knitting more loosely. Okay, and here we need to go this way. Okay, and we wrap it this way, and again tighten up as much as you can. Look how loose, you see what is happening to the yarn here? It's loose now. So let me try to do it this way now. So we go this way and push it back and tighten, and push it back and tighten. Okay, and I'm gonna try to look how loose, you see, look how loose it is. So I just tighten it up. Okay, let's go and continue now this way. And because I have it wrapped up around my fingers several times, and I'm pulling the yarn slowly but surely, and when I go and pull it too much, when I feel I have too much yarn over here, I will just pull or rearrange my hold of the yarn. And this is how I try to knit with on a purl side. Okay, now you might try to find your own technique depending on how you hold the needles. Okay, and this side you don't have to super tight, make super tight stitches, because this is always tighter side. You see, it does not look, now I did 4 rows. I did 1 row just to get into the groove of knitting English style. So I did this row and this row of the video, and then these 2 rows are on the video. So you can see that pretty much I'm trying to control my tension, so it matches also my knitting continental style. All right, and look, I purposely try to make it looser, and I have them looser in here a little bit. So they are more, if I really concentrate, they are more even on both sides on the edges. Okay, I was not concentrating as much over here versus here, but as I was showing you, I was concentrating more here, and you can see that they are more more even, not as loose, although they're still somewhat loose, but not as really loose, because then this side always turns a little bit shorter, tiny bit shorter, and this one usually turns out a little bit longer. So I try to control this side versus this side, you know, that way. But if it comes to middle part, I use exactly the same tension. We have some storm coming. Do you hear that? Anyway, so the tension on the knit side in the middle is exactly the same tension as in the middle in here. Okay, I don't change anything about the tension. All right, so that's about me controlling tension for my purl side, and I mean, yeah, the back side, purl side, wrong side, okay, and how I control tension on the edges as well. I hope this video will help some of you, and thank you very much again for watching my videos, subscribing. Thank you very much for commenting. Love those comments, help each other. If you have any other idea, write it down below this particular video or any other video that is talking about tension. Thank you, and you will see me another time.